Hey everyone, I'm Helen and welcome to today's class. This is a standing class working on mobilizing the hip, but also strengthening it. And this is a special request from my dad. We will need one prop today, which is a sturdy chair, something that can bear your weight and isn't going to move. So you can use the settee, you can even use the bed, even the bottom steps of your staircase. Just make sure it's not going to move anywhere. I'm going to work out in bare feet as usual. Nice flat surface, comfy clothes, and when you've got all that, we'll be ready to go. We'll start with just some side stepping on the mat or whatever your space is, waking up the legs, bending into the knees. Just a little side step side to side. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, looking forward to moving your body, challenging yourself a little bit, challenging your balance and your mind, coordination. And then when we go the other way, this time we'll stop at the end and come into a lateral bend. And then back over to the other side, just waking up the spine in this lateral flexion. Feels so good. Not worrying what it looks like, just noticing how it feels in the body. And then back to the midline. Come into some chair bursts, so bending into the knees. I'll turn to the side. Weight is coming into the heels. You can lift the toes, and this really helps activate the core. Palms come to the chest, sit down into your chair, and as you inhale, you come up, open the chest from the throat to the sky, and then back down again. A few of these. This is great to just wake up the spine, get some oxygen into those lungs. Makes you feel really good. Opening the chest and the shoulders. A couple more. And release. Working on some rotation of the spine, keeping the hips facing forward and just rotating the chest. Movement coming from the mid-spine. So your hips might move a little bit, but we want most of this movement coming from here. Twists are so good for us. Couple more. And release. Excellent. Now stand with the feet directly underneath the hips, taking the left hand, right hand comes to hip, and swing this, or sweep should I say, across the front body and around. And then the other side, just getting into the shoulder joint here. A couple of these. Feel that arm bone moving in all its range of motion. Feels so good. A little bit of shoulder flossing. This time, as this hand comes down, move your gaze to the fingertips and then follow the hand with the gaze as you move around. So this adds another dimension to it. Other side, following the fingertips with the gaze. We'll add on again. This time, as you bring this left arm across, lift the left leg. It's more challenging than it looks, especially if you're doing the eye gaze. Remember, you can always do your own version of these moves. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just here to guide you. You can always hold on if this is challenging for your balance, and over time as you develop strength and confidence, you may be able to do it. If you don't, it's not a problem. Be happy and content with where you and your body are. And release. Excellent. Now we'll work on a little bit more mobilization of the hips. So we've done this one a few times, grounding into the right foot. The left leg comes in front, hands at the hips, stacking the body. Lift this front leg. We're sweeping it round in the hip socket. So think of sweeping rather than swinging. We'll do 5 of these. Find a fixed gazing point. You can always hold on, remember. This is 4. Slower is better. And 5. Shake it out. Other side, grounding into this left foot. Right leg in front. Already wobbling. Zipping up here. Fixed gazing point. Lift the leg and sweep around in the hip socket. Might hear some clicks. This is 3. And we'll go back to the other side after this and add on for a little bit of a coordination challenge. Wonderful. Grounding down into this right foot again. This time as your leg comes forward, imagine your fingertips are paintbrushes. You're going to inhale up. As this leg moves around, so do the arms in the arm socket. So you end up with your palms facing towards the sky at the back. And then we come back round. So the arms are mimicking the leg, really. That's 1. This is 2. 3. When we do it slower, we're using a lot of muscle engagement. We're not using momentum. It's helping with our strength and our body control. One more after this. You're doing brilliantly. If this is challenging, you can just do it with one arm and hold on maybe with the other. And then over time, you do it with both. Wonderful. Other side. Grounding into the left foot, right leg is in front, arms come up like paintbrushes. Inhale, lift, and then we sweep around. Palms are facing towards the sky as you come back, and then as the arms rotate in the sockets, down. That's 2 or 1. Can't count already. 2. Each side may be different. This is the great thing about doing these one-legged movements. It really shows us how we may favor one side over the other. And we can adjust our routines and our habitual movements to accommodate and use both sides of the body. Wonderful. This is where you will need your chair. So I'm going to get mine. And we'll work on a lunge sequence. I won't mirror you here. Grounding down into the left foot. The right foot comes up and you want to be this thigh distance away from the chair. So set yourself up. Hips are neutral. Hands are at the waist. Ground down into this right heel and the right ball of the foot. Body is tall, then lean into this front leg. Trying to keep the back heel on the floor, stretching out the Achilles and the calf, and then use the strength of this leg to push yourself back up. Do 10 of these. That's 1, 2. Don't worry about how far forward you come. Go with your range of motion and your body. So you might come further forward than me or not as far forward. It is perfectly okay for the knee to go past the ankle. A lot of fitness people say no. But if our knee never went past our ankle, we'd never be able to get up the stairs. So it is a natural movement of the leg. This is 8, I believe. 9. And 10. Cool. Other side. Set yourself up so you're a thigh distance away. The standing foot is facing forward. Hips are neutral. Hands are at the waist. Spine is tall. And start to lean into this front leg and then push off with the heel. 10 of these. It's 9. 8. 7. 6. Notice any difference in the sides. Maybe your knee feels better on one side than the other. Maybe you've got more strength on one side than the other. So these are really simple movements, but they're so beneficial for the body. I believe that is 10. We'll come back and we'll move on. This time we're going to stand a little bit further away. So you can do that same version again. But standing further away, when we come forward and our center of gravity is coming more over this leg, it increases the load and therefore strengthens it. Hands will be at the hips. We'll bend into this leg, so you can see I'm already coming a lot further forward and then back. 10 on this side. So this is 2, 3. Putting the mind into here. 5. Getting a good stretch in that back leg, down the calf and the Achilles heel, and also in the hip flexor as you're coming forward. This is something that we often do on the floor. If you find it challenging getting into 4-point kneeling, this is a great way to get the same benefits but from a standing version. And release, other side. Rounding into that standing leg. And begin. 10, 9. Really using this bent leg to push off. When you've ground down into the heel, you can feel the activation of the leg. And I believe this is 10. And we'll add on again, bringing the arms into it and a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So you can keep the hands at the waist, that's perfectly okay, or you can do what I'm going to do. So as we come forward, we've got those paintbrushes come up again. As we come back, this hip, the right hip goes back and the arms come back, and we straighten the leg for a hamstring stretch. So we're bending into this left knee and come forward and come back. So the leg doesn't have to go straight. You can come back to your degree, which might be here. The important thing is getting the movement, and then over time, as our mobility and our flexibility develops, we get a bit deeper. And of course, you can do it like this with the hands at the hips. Whatever feels good for you and your body. It's good to see the options though, because it shows you what you can work towards. I believe this is probably 10. And release, second side. Left foot is on. Start with the hands at the hips. Hips facing forward. And then we begin with the paintbrushes coming up and then coming back. You may notice a big difference in the hamstring movement on this side. My right hamstring is more open than my left. This is 7. Nice and mindful, breathing easy. And done. Excellent. Won't need the chair again. Okay, we'll now work on the side of the leg a little bit, grounding down into this right foot. The left leg comes out to the side, hands are at the hips, zip up through the midline, all the weight is in this standing leg. Just lift this to the side, working on this outer hip. 10 of these. Don't worry about how high up you can get this. Doesn't matter, you can always hold on as well. 6, 7, 8, using control rather than momentum. 9 and 10, other side, grounding down into this left foot. Right foot comes out. Nice, tall spine. Begin. 1, 2 more. Excellent, adding on. Side bend comes out, side leg, the leg comes out to the side. We lift, and then a side crunch, knee to elbow. 10 of these. 2. So when you bring in the elbow and knee down, imagine you're really crunching this side together. Keep going, you're doing excellent. I'm building up a sweat. Lost count. Hip is clicking. And release, other side, grounding into the left foot. The right foot extends. Tall spine, relax shoulders. We lift to the side, and then the knee crunch. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, you can do it, and 10. Wow. Okay, moving on. We're now going to work on the glutes a little bit, so I'll turn to the side. I'm not going to mirror you. I'll ground into the right foot. Start to bring all the weight into this right leg. Spine is tall. You can hold on, bend the left leg, and then we're activating this glute. Activate it and pull the thigh back in space 10 times. That's 1, 2. Really put the mind into this muscle. So you're using this glute to pull the leg back. Fix gazing points. And release, other side, grounding into the left foot, bending the right leg. I'll face this way. And using this glute to pull the thigh back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well done. Moving on again, coming forward. This time you can do the same version or fold a little bit from the hip crease. So bringing the center of gravity forward, zipping up along the front spine, engaging the core, lifting this leg, 10 lifts again. 1. So this, often do this in a 4-point kneeling. If it's challenging to get down on your hands and knees, you can get the same benefits from this standing position. You can also hold on, but if you're holding on, just use it to help with balance. Don't put all your weight into it, like a feather-light touch with the hands. And we do the other side. Folding from the hip crease, grounding into this foot. This leg comes up behind. Again, feather-light touch if necessary. Putting all the mind into this glute and getting the glute to lift the leg. Deep breaths. Focus mind. And release. Well done. We'll now do some standing clamshells to work on this movement in the hip. Grounding down into the right foot, tall spine, shoulders relaxed. Externally rotate this left leg, then you'll internally rotate and touch the knees together, and then out. So 10 of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the movement coming from this outer hip. 5. This is again working the glute. 6. And we're mobilizing the hip joint. And release, other side, grounding down into this left foot, externally rotating the right leg, and we begin. That's 1, knee to knee, and then it's like heel to the inner shin. Moving through this joint. This is great for if you do a lot of sitting. We're not opening out that hip. And 10. Well done. Last move, we're going back to some lunges. I won't mirror you. Right foot is coming forward. Stacking the knee above the ankle. Hands to the hips. Grounding down into this front foot. Propelling off of this back one. And then bringing the knee up. And then gracefully stepping back. That's 1. We'll do 10 of these. 2. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring the arms up. I think that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. Grounding down to this front foot. Maybe start with the hands at the hips, and then when you get the movement in the legs and it becomes familiar in the body, you can bring the arms in. So we raise our arms above the head. This elevates the heart rate. And even though these movements are quite basic, you can really jazz them up by just doing something as simple as lifting the arms, and you already feel the challenge. Couple more. and release. Last time, back to the front first side. We're going to bring in a twist, coming onto the ball of the back foot, grounding into the front heel, knee over ankle, front ribs are in. We bring this knee up, hands come to the ears, and then rotate and back. So you can keep the hands at the ears the whole time, which again is more challenging. We're only going to do 5 of these, so that's 3. And last one. 5. Wonderful. Last side. Starting in this lunge. Knee comes up, hands to the ears, rotate back forward, and then we step back and keep the hands at the ears if you want that extra challenge. Last one. And release. Well done. That was a great class. A lot of strengthening the hips and mobilizing it, because we need both of them to enable ourselves to remain independent and out of the care home for as long as we can. We'll finish with a couple of stretches. On an inhale, palms come up to the sky, full body stretch, and then down. Another one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. We'll come over to this side stretch, getting all down the side body. This class, this is the 5th time that I've actually filmed it. I've had so many problems. The first time I filmed it all the way through, my head was cut off. Then the SD card got corrupted. Then the battery ran out on the camera. So I don't know if it was the universe telling me that I shouldn't post this class. Well done, that was a great class. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. If you